to Football 301. I'm your host, Nate Tice, joined with Mr. Forverts, Charles McDonald, coming to you right after Sunday Night Football. It's time for the late hit. Sunday Night Football, the Micah Parsons revenge game ends in a 40-40 tie, a double 40 burger on each other. The second highest scoring tie in NFL history. Charles, how are you, and what are you feeling right now after that Packers-Cowboys double 40 burger?
I mean, there's so much to get to, but is Jordan Love okay, man? Like, that last play was one of the most baffling things that I've ever seen in terms of like game management, where he just threw it to the back of the end zone as time was about to expire and luckily landed out of bounds with 1 second left. Wow, that was so risky and so unnecessarily risky too, because you still ended up playing for the tie. You could have kicked the tie right there. I mean, getting the touchdown, it would have been sweet if he scored, but you know, like it just fell out of bounds. I mean, wow, that was just a crazy way to kind of cap an offensive explosion in the second half in overtime. Like, and these two teams combined in second half and overtime for 589 total yards of offense. Like, just no one was playing any sort of types of defense. George Pickens went off. I mean, it was a lot of fun, but man, just a lot of frenzies going on at the end of the game that almost cost the Packers it.
Oh man, I'm trying to find it, but the Packers had 32 first downs. I'm trying to find the historical number for that. Like, that's got to be up there for like an all-time mark. Packers had 26, Cowboys had 26 first downs. Almost at 1,000 yards of offense combined in this game. Like you said, there's all that talk about Micah Parsons coming back, and, you know, Cowboys O-line's a little bit battered, you know, we'll see. And he has 1 sack for 0 yards. That was it. That was the only sack that the Packers got the entire game. Honestly, very entertaining game, but also kind of a, you know, ties, and it's kind of hard to like have like, oh, it's like, oh, that's it. But I mean, but it was fun watching just an offensive explosion. It makes me a little worried about the Packers defense now. Far as, you know, they were getting shredded. I mean, they had no defensive tackles. They couldn't stop the run at all. I mean, I don't even have to like list off just staff to staff, but like just because of that, they were trying to have to run cover 3, try to get another body in the box, and then that just left single coverage to Pickens, who shredded it. And Dak Prescott, who shredded single high. Oh my God, I think I looked this up before OT. Against cover 3 tonight, which the Packers ran more than anything, about half the time, Dak went 14 of 17, 146 yards, 3 touchdowns, 8.5 yards, and 10.1 air yards. And then against split safeties, which the Packers run a little bit of, and I'll tell you, like, damned if you do, damned if you don't, his air yards were 2.6 because he was working underneath. But the very last drive, or the OT drive, was third down. And he checks. It was the long third down where he's signaling a whole bunch of stuff, and Packers run 2 invert, and he hits the whole shot. So if I get it, maybe for the Packers defense, like, all right, what else do you want us to do? We did like a funky look, and he's hitting us for 15-yard first downs and everything. Right. But what are your feelings right now about the Packers defense? Like that was. Oof.
That was concerning because it wasn't just CeeDee Lamb being out in this game. Tyler Booker didn't play. They've been banged up on the offensive line. I think Cooper Beebe was still out for this game too, right? So, you know, when you're giving up that many points to an offense that's down multiple starters, like their best wide receiver and a first-round pick on the offensive line and starting center, I don't really think you envision yourself giving up 40 points. But, man, Dak was really on fire today. But even with Dak playing as well as he did, there were times when Pickens was open down the field with no Packers defenders really near him. So that did give me a little pause and cause for concern, I think, with the Packers moving forward. But I still think this is going to be a pretty good defense, and maybe they just caught Dak on a day when he was completely on fire. Because you know, there were plays where Micah almost got to Dak a handful of times, and Dak just fired it off right before he got there and was completing some of those passes down the field. So really, just kind of an incredible game for him. And then for the Packers, I think you just gotta regroup and try again, because today was not your day in terms of defense. And for the Cowboys, I feel like that was expected. Like, no one thought that they were going to stop this Packers offense, but Green Bay getting shredded was a little surprising.
Yeah, no, I agree. I figured the Cowboys would get some. Like, this is a good offense. Like, they're able. Yeah. I just looked it up. So 32 first downs is the most by a team this season, tied with the Cowboys against the Giants a couple of weeks ago. So was it, so this Cowboys offense can churn, can do some things. And, the end of the game, that 54-yard drive by the Cowboys, like even that one, it was like the Packers tried every different coverage, and there was Dak finding an answer. So it's just something that's after, first couple of weeks, how I was feeling about this defense to how I feel about it now. Like, yeah, they are gettable. Like, they do have some spots, but like you said, it might have just been one of those games. And also, shout out to Kenny Clark, by the way, who was kind of the underrated part of that trade. The on-off splits reflected that tonight on the 21 run plays that he was on the field, 3.7 yards per run. On the plays, 13 plays he was off the field, 6.2 yards per play. So, he had a couple nice moments. And when he wasn't on the field, it was kind of very much felt. James Houston had a nice game. There's some interesting stuff the Cowboys are doing. They're doing some cool two-back stuff, with the fullback. They're just, but both offenses, it was just kind of like one of those things where it's like, I could just go, oh, yeah, this worked. Oh, yeah, this works, because it was just that kind of offensive night for both teams. So Matthew Golden has to chill on the circle button, on B button, spin move. Yeah. Let's take that out. You're just left, right stick from now on. What else I got? George Pickens fade to set up a TD was awesome, because I was like 3-step underneath, quick game. That was pretty cool. But even at the end of half, so we're talking at the end of the game, what about the Jordan Love strip sack at the end of the first half? Yeah. Like, they're just playing with fire this entire game. And like, I don't know. LaFleur's kind of play calling it's good overall. Don't get me wrong, but he just has these weird moments where he just gets a little weird. Yeah. Yeah.
And the whole team just a little weird. Just a little off sometimes, And then you throw the Michael Parsons personality bomb to the mix. But I wonder how he's feeling coming out of that game. Like, well, you tied. I don't know how you're supposed to feel after a tie. Like,
I don't either. Even my tone right now, I don't know how to talk about each team, because it's like they did this well, I guess, and they did this like not so well, but they tied.
the older I've gotten, the more I have kind of forgiven Donovan McNabb for not knowing that games could end in a tie. That one game a while back,
but it was like his 10th year. Because
why would you ever be thinking about that? Why would you ever be thinking about?
True, you always think about winning,
right? Yeah. Winning or losing, right? Because what is this? I guess you regroup and you try to just score more points than you did next week. But you both scored 40, which was kind of crazy about this. Just both teams had an offensive outburst that ended in a draw. Because usually you're seeing someone get pummeled when this many points are getting scored.
Yeah, I'm just so curious about whether this is a 1 week thing, whatever, or just the Packers, not 1 week thing, but a couple week thing, or whether the Packers, they're fine against the Browns, of course, but it's just like, is that gettable? Because like even the Cowboys tonight, they were able to manipulate them personnel wise. And it was just like, I don't know. It just felt like the Cowboys offense was always in control. Obviously you see the points and everything, but it never felt like the Packers defense was doing something that was like, ooh, there it is. Like, ooh, they got a good answer there, which again, credit to the Cowboys offense and Dak and everything, because he was phenomenal. Romeo Doubs hat trick, which I thought would be the lead of the show, but then the Cowboys just kept scoring. Fade TD was sweet. One-step slant TD was cool. And then had a huge contested catch on the drive, the late drive at the end of the game. And then the 3rd and 10 go-ahead TD was great. Simple, great design. And it's funny because Pickens' touchdown, they came on the exact same route, glance route in the red zone. Same routes on the trip side. One was empty. The Cowboys one was empty. I'm getting too much into it, but the Packers one was 3-by-1. But anyways, I thought it was pretty funny that both teams used literally the same play design. They both got them against cover 3, a variation of cover 3, and they both hit the same exact route. wide open touchdown with the safety on the other side. I just kind of laughed. I was like, NFL is pretty, pretty copycat, pretty homogenous throughout the league and everything. Any other shout outs from this game? The tone of a tie is just very hard to like start a show with.
I guess I'll give another shout out to the Cowboys offensive line, just because they're banged up. And Dallas's front has been, or not Dallas, Green Bay's front has been pretty good. And I know that they were a little shorthanded as the game went on because Devontae Wyatt got injured today. But Dallas on 26 design carries only had 2 rushes that went for 0 fewer yards. So it's a pretty good day at the office if you're the Cowboys offensive line, which was down 2 starters today, one of which was the first round pick from this year.
And it's not like the Packers defense. Like, I know the defensive tackles are, kind of more gap shooters, especially with Devontae Wyatt out. Carl Brooks had a nice game. I love Carl Brooks. But the linebackers are good for the Packers.
Yeah.
They still got some edge, juice, and size. But anytime we can shout out Clayton Adams, football 301 favorite Clayton Adams, the OC run game coordinator for the Cowboys, man. Yeah, you're right though. His presence is felt. Watch the Cardinals Seahawks game on Thursday, and then watch what's going on with the Cowboys run game and their protections right now. It's like that is so felt in the both offenses right now. But no, fun game. It just one of those where it's like kind of wanted the one big takeaway from it, but I just thought both quarterbacks played pretty well throughout the entire night. There's pretty fun run games happening. Varied run games will be fun to rewatch.